All right, if you're a developer, you're going to want to listen up. The open source Gemini CLI just got some upgrades that are, frankly, game-changing. It's gone from a cool tool to something I think is pretty essential. So let's break down exactly what's new and why this is such a big deal. Okay, let's just get right into the most unbelievable part, the value. You know how most powerful AI assistants hit you with a monthly fee and cap your requests? Well, Gemini CLI is completely free. And I don't mean free tier free. We're talking 60 requests a minute and a massive 1 million token context window with the Gemini 1.5 Pro model. That's professional grade power for literally zero cost. So what's the single biggest upgrade? It all starts right where you spend most of your day, your IDE. Gemini CLI now has native integration directly into VS Code. This means you can finally stop that clumsy copy and paste dance between your terminal and your editor. It's a really fundamental shift in your workflow. And that integration unlocks the feature that really changes everything. Native in-editor diffing. Instead of the AI just spitting out a raw block of code, it presents its suggestions in a beautiful side-by-side comparison view. Seriously, if you've ever reviewed a pull request on GitHub, you'll feel right at home. And it all happens inside your editor. The whole process just becomes incredibly smooth. You ask for a change, a diff view instantly pops up in VS Code, and you click to approve it. That's it. What this really does is get rid of all that mental friction from context switching. It keeps you in the zone, focused on your code. But here's the thing. This integration is more than just a fancy viewer. It's smart. Because Gemini is now deeply context-aware, it actually understands your open files and the text you've highlighted. This means it gives you suggestions that aren't just generic code snippets, but are perfectly tailored to what you're working on right now. Now, what if you're working on something bigger than just a quick fix or a single function? This is where Gemini starts to feel less like a tool and more like a collaborator. It has these powerful new ways to strategize really complex tasks, letting you map out an entire feature before a single line of code even gets written. The magic behind this is a two-mode system. First, you go into plan mode. You describe the feature you want to build, and it acts like a senior engineer, analyzing your whole code base and drafting a detailed, step-by-step implementation plan. Once you look it over and give it a thumbs up, you switch to implementation mode. It then executes that plan, but it pauses at critical points to get your approval. You get to be the architect, it becomes your master builder. The level of customization here is also super impressive. You can create your own custom slash commands for tasks you do all the time, or use a .gemini ignore file to shield parts of your code, giving you really precise control over the AI's context. And thanks to the open source community, the whole thing is just getting faster and more reliable all the time. So far, we've seen how Gemini is an amazing personal assistant. But now, it's ready to officially join your team. By plugging directly into your CI/CD pipeline with GitHub Actions, it transforms into an automated teammate that's working for you 24/7. Just think about what this actually means for a second. You can automate AI-powered code reviews for every single pull request. You can have it automatically triage new GitHub issues, analyzing them, labeling them, and even prioritizing them for you. You can even delegate a task just by tagging it in a comment. Your repository basically becomes a command center for your new AI agent. Of course, anytime you talk about automating your pipeline, security questions pop up. And that's why this is all built with modern security practices in mind. It supports something called Workload Identity Federation, which is basically just a really secure way of letting your tools talk to each other without you having to store those risky, long-lived API keys in your environment. It's automation you can actually trust. Okay, that was a ton of incredible upgrades. So let's step back. What's the big picture here? What are the most important things to take away from all this? First, and this is the big one, is the price. Access to a world-class AI assistant with deep IDE integration, strategic planning, and a 1 million token context window, that usually comes with a pretty hefty subscription fee. The cost to get all of this with Gemini CLI? Zero. Zilch. This isn't a trial, it's not a limited version, it's just free. And that leaves us with a final, kind of provocative thought. When an open source tool becomes this powerful, this integrated, and this accessible for free, what does that mean for the entire market of paid AI development tools? It feels like the game is definitely changing.